What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So, welcome back to another week. Definitely, if you have not, go back to our Monday and Tuesday episodes. So on Monday, we talk about the Reddit confirmed hack. And then on Tuesday, we talk about how 2 California cities were hit with ransomware in 2 days, which caused the police to have to go back to handheld radios. And then today's discussion revolves around an article I found from the Cyber News. It's entitled, Russia's Cyber Attacks Against Ukraine Decreased. Is cyber war coming to an end? So I can answer you right off the bat, no. No, it's not. If anything, it's the new frontier, right? It's the way we do war now, is through cyber. Before one tank rolls in, there's going to be cyber attacks, right? If I can take you down from remotely, why would I risk casualties and destruction before I roll into town? But in this article, it just talks about how although Ukraine recorded much fewer attacks in January 2023 than in the same time last year, digital warfare is far from ending, but cyber resilience is improving. Now that I agree upon. We were getting better and better at defending ourselves from attacks because we were getting attacked so frequently. It goes on to say, where is it at? It talks about numbers. Here it is. The Computer Emergency Response Team of Ukraine, so CERT-UA, investigated around 100 cyber incidents in January 2023, recording 2.5 times fewer attacks than last January 2022. So if anything, we're just getting better at I say we, I guess I should say the coalition is getting better at defeating said attacks and mitigating those damages. If anything, this continued war or conflict is just making everybody better at this craft, right? The attackers are getting better at attacking, the defenders are getting better at defense. It's the same thing that happened with the Gulf War into the Iraq War. Like, you just get better and better at certain types of combat and your effectiveness because you're constantly engaging on that target. So the same thing can be said here. If anything, we're learning so much through these attacks. I'm sure a lot of the partners of Ukraine are also helping to monitor the situation, if not just having a seat at the table to learn these tactics, techniques, and procedures prior to a future war conflict. But how do you feel about this, Shannon?
Yeah, man, I'm with you on this. Like, as soon as I read it, I was the same way. I was like, no, it is not decreasing, and that they are getting better at it, right? They just got used to it. And exactly as you said, before one tank rolls in, before one missile comes over the border, one plane goes into your airspace, that's exactly what happens, is they try to bring those defenses down. And the thing is, I think Ukraine's just gotten good at it. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, this is what you wanted to do. And here's the thing, it's not like Russia is new to it anyway, right? So they've been doing this to Ukraine for years, right? It's not like when this happened last year that they went in there, it was the first time they actually said, oh, this is the first dealings we're going to have with Ukraine. No, they've been messing with them for years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they hit Georgia. Like they did the whole psyops.
Yep.
On Georgia before they rode one tank in.
Yep. So I mean, I think they just got used to it, which is a good thing, right? And like in the article, it actually references like how they get in, and it was like I think it was outdated software or something like that was one of the ways that they got in. That was exploiting known vulnerabilities. That's what it was, for intrusion. That's kind of what they get in. So what ends up happening is that Ukraine, knowing this, they're like, okay, what do we know that's known out there? Like CERT, it doesn't have to be CERT UA. It could be CERT UA or CERT EU, CERT US. It could be whoever, right? Like all this stuff gets posted. Like, it's common knowledge what these vulnerabilities are and what is out there that needs to be fixed, right? So it's just a matter of going to their site and looking at it, and Ukraine saying, okay, fix these things, right? Like, this is what CERT says across the globe, right? Like, it doesn't matter which region we're talking about that are issues. So they're getting proficient at it, and it could be. And here's the thing: I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I know I seem like that sometimes, right? I know I play one on podcasts, right? But like this could be one of those things where Russia just may not even have the manning anymore sitting in those rooms doing that stuff, right? So they could just be throwing manpower out on these battlefields in Ukraine, trying to trying to get a desired result that they're not getting, right? So they're taking these people like, hey, you work for us. I know you sit at a keyboard, but go pick up this gun now. You know what I mean? So it could be a manpower
Right.
thing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's just it's not going to necessarily get better before it gets worse, right? Because again, they're refining their techniques, tactics, and procedures as well. They're like, okay, this didn't work, but this will work. And there's a 0 day every day. We just don't necessarily hear about it before it's patched or fixed. So they're continuously building their lists of like, we can hit this, we can do that. We've done extensive pen testing, and we know that they're on Windows 98 here doing this thing, or this system's not completely protected, or they have public facing web servers that are not patched, like the US no fly list got found. I don't know if you can hear that. You hear my dog snoring? Wake up.
I do.
See, down there killing me right now.
She's
But
enjoying that nap. Enjoying that nap.
man, snoring like a man over here, like a grown man. But yeah, there's it's a constant spy versus spy game happening. So if anything, hopefully we're taking this information, this data, and we can bring it back to the States to protect our infrastructure, our hospitals, our critical infrastructure, our whatever, by seeing what's being applied on the current battlefield over there. Not to say that's a good thing. I'm not saying that there's no good things that come out of war per se, but we can use these as a case study in order to kind of shore up our own defenses. And the same thing's happening with a lot of our partners, right? They're also taking this information and finding ways to better defend ourselves versus from this potentially happening in the future. Like we got like spy balloons and stuff floating over. Like it's getting wild out here in these streets. It's getting crazy. So we need as much help as we can get, and hopefully in turn we're giving them what they need, whether it be expertise in cyber defense and offensive cyber, or just money to update software and hardware to stay just one step ahead of the bad guys in this situation. So it's definitely not going to get better anytime soon, but we will become better at defending against it. And we talked about it last week, how the shady side of cyber is very much well built and effective and efficient, like any corporation out there. So it's probably cyclical, right? Like they're learning from us, we're learning from them, so on and so forth. And it just for infinity. Like this will continuously be an issue. We just hopefully it'll just be smaller pockets, and we won't have any colonial pipelines or JBS or any of those huge swings in the future, as we continuously learn from these tactics.
And you kind of hit on something there when you were just talking. So like they are getting help from other countries, right? These other countries are sending weapons that are more advanced weapons than what they had, right? So that could free them up. Like when you have missiles that pretty much guide themselves at the press of a button, right? You free up personnel to kind of take these preventative measures, for cybersecurity, to protect your cyber infrastructure. So
Right.
that could be to their advantage. You're like, oh well, we just press this button and this missile goes where we tell it to. Fire the missile. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. And we've seen like their drone tech and procedures in that respect is also pretty crazy. But I think we talked about the deepfake stuff. Like they're using cameras and drones to be able to find targets, to find people of interest and things of that nature. So like this tech war has escalated exponentially. Exponentially, there you go, there's the word, over the past couple of years, and it's just getting more and more man, for lack of a better term, just advanced. Like we're just so close to Skynet, it's ridiculous. Like, so we'll see how all of that unfolds in the future, but I'm glad to see that they're not being as susceptible to these attacks as they once were. So that's definitely a good thing.
For sure.
Yeah. So with that being said, it's a great discussion. I'm sure we can continuously go on. Like there's so much stuff has happened in the past couple of days with AI, the Chinese spy balloon. Like I couldn't tie any of that per se specifically to cyber, so I didn't want to talk about the spy balloon and not, because we don't know what it was or was not doing. Like they say it's weather balloon, we say it's a spy balloon. What tech was on it? That's still to be declassified, maybe 50 years from now. So we won't know. This podcast will be on episode 50,001 by the time we find out what was on that balloon. So if anything. So just keep tuning in. Definitely hit us up throughout the week. So Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday is discussion, and then Friday's episode is everything else. So if you want to hear us talk about movies, books, the Super Bowl, because that is going to be today, but you're listening to this in the future, so it is what it is. But just our predictions and what have you, definitely tune in for that episode. It's going to be a fun time. Hit us up at all of our websites. They go by our name. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I am on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Clubhouse. Stay safe. Stay secure.